Well, hi everyone, welcome. Saturday, an awesome day today. I just got back from the Australian football and my team won, so I was quite happy with that. But anyway, just wanted to say hi to everyone and thanks for joining me on a live stream. And as you guys know, this particular live stream, we're going to be checking out the new Behringer MS-101, which is that famous SH-101 clone that they've made. And yep, I've managed to grab myself one. I did have to get it all the way here from the UK, so yeah, you know. Let's have a quick look at it. It's just over here on this camera shot. There it is there, yay. So we're definitely going to be checking out that. Now, the stream has only got about 3 people just in it, but please, for those couple of people that are in, jump into chat and say hi. This is actually a live stream that I like everyone to kind of interact with each other. I want the whole stream, I want everyone to join in and ask questions so that we have a bit more of a community going, and tell us how your week's been and everything. While we're waiting for a few people to join, you know, jump into chat, say hi. And what we might do is kick off with the first segment, which you all guys, all of you know, is the news from the Geekery. So we're going to do that right now. And without further ado, let's play the new stinger. That's it, the latest from the Geekery. And as you guys can see, right in front of us is the new Moog Matriarch. What an announcement that was. That came out of the blue. I guess it's all part of their new Moog Fest that they're running, or they've run. I don't even know if it's actually run yet. I'm just completely playing it by ear here. But anyway, that's the new Matriarch, and I thought it was pretty cool looking. It's a, what is it, a 4-voice paraphonic analog synthesizer, the typical sort of Moog type synthesizer that you see. Some of the specs, I should say. It's kind of, you know, it's got this awesome stereo, what do they call it? They called it a, what was the name they called it? I'm just reading here. I'll find it in a minute. But anyway, the delay on it, this thing here, hopefully this works. The stereo delay. It's an analog delay, which I believe they had to ship in a whole bunch of these new Bucket Brigade or BBD type chips to get this thing working. So that's actually pretty cool. I love, as you guys know, I love my analog and I love my delays. So that actually sounds really delicious. And if you're into, you know, Moog synths with the ladder filter and everything, that's pretty cool. I'm actually very impressed by that. Couple of other things that it's got is their built-in sequencer, Arpeggiator, stereo ladder filters, which was interesting. And so basically the filter itself is not a mono filter, it's a stereo filter. So if you've listened to some of the demos, I think you'll be pretty impressed by that. And obviously paraphonic, which means it shares, the 4 voices can play different notes, but it shares the same amp envelope and filter section. Anyway, that's the Moog Matriarch. I like how that intro that I had, like one of those computer generated voices that said Moog. That's going to get everyone happy. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Now, this one here, let me just get this up and running. Super Critical. I've never heard of these guys, but obviously, you know, if you're into modular, you probably would have heard of them. They are bringing out this 16-voice module for Eurorack, which is massive, and I believe it's analog. I mean, from all the information that I've read, it's a DCO oscillators, and you have to get there's 2 modules you can see here. One is a core oscillator, demon core they call it, and then you've got the expander module on the right hand side. When you've got the two together, you can actually make this a proper 16 voice polyphonic modular synth analog. And that's pretty cool. And you can see in that little cluster down the bottom with all the green lights, that's your voices. So I can see this thing being pretty big in someone's modular rack. I don't know anything about the prices or anything like that, but it's got a whole bunch of voltage control, CV, and all sorts of stuff like that. But it also features FM. You can see there's an FM nod there as well. And yeah, you know, if you're into modular, this thing might be right up your alley. So I thought that was pretty good news. I always like it when people bring out polyphonic stuff, and especially analog. And sticking to the same theme, Udo have brought out a new synth called a Super 6, which they're going to launch, I guess, officially at the Super Booth 2019, which is only not that long away. And this thing is really, really cool from what I can work out. There's not a lot of information, but let's just say it's 12 voice polyphonic. It's binaural analog hybrid, which and it supports a superwave technology. Now, the guy that was originally involved in the modal synthesizers, he made I think the modal 8 or whatever it was called, one of the first ones, is George Hearn. He's actually behind this one. And this does actually sound pretty cool. So there's a couple of picks that you can see on this one. There's also, so that's the black version I think you can see now, and then there's this one, and I've done a couple, I think these are like 3D renders. I don't actually know if they're real pics or not. But that actually looks really, really nice. I don't know what you guys think. Just chucking my head down into chat, and I can quickly say, hi Dave. Dave from the UK. Well, Dave, I can tell you a lot more about the MS-101 in a sec, but just to quickly answer you, I feel the build quality is really good, and I'll actually show you in a second what that looks like. So we'll get to that, but won't be long to wait. Just get through my little segments here. Okay, so there's our news, and obviously there was a whole bunch of other news that came out during the week, but I think we're keeping it to my geekery sort of theme. That's the synth stuff, and I think you know, paraphonic and polyphonic synthesizers, analog or hybrid analog, you know, it kind of does stick to the theme. I think it's pretty cool. All right, moving on to the next segment is our funny side, and I'll just play my little funny side stinger, and we'll get stuck straight into it, and hopefully we can have you guys jumping in and tell me whether you think these are funny. Anyway, just play the stinger first, and then we'll get stuck into it. All right, here we go on the funny side. First one is a little meme that I found on, I think it was Facebook, where it shows the boot of a car for someone who's single, and then the boot of a car below for someone who's married. And you can see you can fit your synths in the boot there with the the married, you can fit the frames in. I thought that was funny. Well, I mean, you know, I'm married and I've got kids, so that kind of made a lot of sense to me. But I thought that was pretty funny. What do you guys think of that one? Let me know in the comments. I'm going to quickly go to the next one because I know you guys are all itching to see the MS-101. So I'm going to quickly go to the next one. Ah, damn it. I kept the stinger on, sorry. Oh, quickly, there you go. Let's go to the next one. All right, here we go. When you're at your funeral and a family member mentions selling your synth collection, you come out of your coffin. What? No one's selling anything. I'm not dead yet. I thought that was good, that one. So, yeah. I mean, these I just find on the net over the week. So, you know, there's lots more, but I always find these ones are funny. And this one I think is really, really going to get everyone's attention. This is the receipt printer when I'm in a synth store. Look at that receipt going all out the window. How many synth things and cables and patched leads and things did you buy? That's what it looks like to me. Anyway, I thought that was a good one. So that's the funny side for the week, and you guys are probably going to think, God, please, just get to the MS-101. That's I'm only here for that, please. So I will, I promise. I just wanted to quickly show you. Chat is there for everyone. please make sure you jump in. Like Dave, he said hi, and I know there's more of you there. There's a couple of people already joining the channel, so please jump in and say hi in the chat. And without further ado, let's have a quick look at the MS-101. Yay, there it is there. Okay, so Dave wanted to know about build quality. The total thing is, I think, made of plastic. I'm pretty sure. You can see it's all plastic, like the original, but it's actually really quite heavy. I actually can't remember how heavy an SH-101 is. I haven't lifted up one for a while, but that really does feel like it's pretty good build quality there. And yeah, I'm quite happy with that. The knobs, they all feel like they're going to last. You know, there's no issues with the way they feel. Sliders, knobs, switches, they all feel like they're fairly decent quality. They all have kind of like a resistance on them, you know, and the switches, they don't feel terribly plastically. And I'm wobbling the table, but I'm not actually wobbling anything else. So the sliders do wobble a little bit, but all sliders wobble, so nothing to be a problem. And one of the things I notice about sliders is, do they catch? You know how you get some synths or some MIDI controllers and the sliders catch on the bottom if you press too hard down? These don't. These glide nicely, and there's a bit of resistance on them, so you can, you know, you can be light or you can be quick. So I feel they're actually a good slider. I give that a pass. And the switches feel really nice. They're just really nice. Down the bottom here, you can't quite see it. Let me just move it up a bit. In the bottom corner here, you can see the bender. So it's plastic, right? But I don't know. I mean, I think if you really gave that a bashing, it probably wouldn't last. But yeah, I mean, it's a cheap synth. Just go and buy another one. Anyway, so there's the build quality. Hopefully that helps you, Dave. I think if I'm just kind of going back to my feelings of how I remember the SH-101, I feel this is easily equal, if not better, the build quality. I actually thought the plastic on the original Roland was a little bit brittle, if I remember rightly. But then again, it could be just because it was an older 80s plastic that they used, whereas this is, you know, modern plastics, and they've got better with plastics over the years. So, how does it sound? Right, let's have a quick look. Okay, so you've got, this is just, if anyone knows anything about SH-101s, this is pretty standard. You've got one oscillator, but it's got a mixer section. So you've got, you know, your square, your sawtooth, a triangle, and a sub oscillator. So let's just listen to a square first, with filter all the way up, and make sure we've got just the sustain up on the envelope, which is over there. I'm just going to okay, let's see. Now, can you guys hear that? Let me know in the chat if you can hear that okay, if you want me to turn that up a bit. I might actually just pump that up a little tiny bit on my pre. That sounds very, it's got that 3340 VCO in it, so definitely sounds like an SH-101 to me. Now, pulse width. Let's have a look at pulse width on this, because every good square wave needs a bit of pulse width. Now notice this pulse width, it doesn't disappear to a complete, you know, where it changes the shape of the square wave to it disappears to no sound at all. You've still got, I think, enough play on this. There's your square wave. Let's listen to the sawtooth now. And let's listen to that with a bit of release. I think that's quite a nice sounding sawtooth. I wonder if we can get up in Ableton here, if we can get up a, whatchamacallit, oscilloscope. MIDI effects. I can't remember if I can find this thing. Oscilloscope, here we go. Let's chuck it in there. Now I've got this running through Ableton at the moment. Let me just change the screen to my Mac desktop. So you're not going to see me touch the synth just for now, but I probably could bring that in actually. Let me just try something out here. Alright, there is my Mac desktop. And there's the waveform. So what we might do is, if we can do a bit of trickery here, can we add the picture of the synth in while we're at it? I think that'll be pretty cool. Let's add that, sorry. I'm doing all of this on the fly, and I hope this will be handy for you guys. I think that'll do. Tell me if you like that, so you can actually see me. Hiya, Lost Jeff Ukulele from Canada. Wow, Canada must be nice and early in the morning. Happy Saturday. Tell me if you guys like that view with the oscilloscope running, and you can see me playing the synth at the same time. If that works for you guys better, give me a shout out in the chat, and also let me know if you're happy with the audio coming through. Alright, we saw that's the sawtooth wave. With that sawtooth wave, can we get that to change? I've got the waveforms sitting still now. That's beautiful. What do you think, guys? Give it a bit of gain, and we can get that waveform to draw a bit bigger. There we go. We can make this window a little bigger too. We can. Is that big enough, that window, guys? You think it's okay? You guys can see the oscilloscope good enough there? Or do you want me to make it bigger? I think that's big enough. Yeah, that works for me. It's got to be big enough so that you guys can see the little iterations, the little sort of, you know, jaggedy bits. I don't know if you can see the jaggedy bits in that. Anyway, all right, let's have a look at the square wave again. So you can see it's quite a rounded square wave, isn't it? And with a bit of pulse width. There's your square wave for you guys. Alright, now let's try our triangle. It's a bit of a knobby triangle, that one, isn't it? Okay, cool. So you guys can see it even if you're on your phone. Cool. Bit of a knobby. It's not a real pointy triangle. Bit of a rounded off triangle, and you've got a slight, just a bit of a slight iteration in that line there on the triangle. Alright, so there's the triangle. Now, let's have a look. Just the sub oscillator by itself. It should be a square. So yeah, it's not quite a square, is it? It's kind of a bit of a pulse width square, that sub oscillator. Bit of a jagged square, that one, but that's the sub oscillator by itself. Now let's try the two together. It's flickering around now, so we need to fix that. Here we go, up, down, up. That's the square with the sub, and now the square with the... That sounds nice, doesn't it? So there's your oscillators, and then we'll do the square with the sub with the triangle. Who likes my house? It's a picture of a house. Looks like a side-on view to a couple of houses, doesn't it? Cool. Actually sounds really nice. Alright, off with the sub. Okay. Who wants to see the filter? So one thing to notice when I do the filter, when I go all the way down to the bottom, keep an eye. I'm going to try and use my fingers on this camera here. Where are we? Down? No, down. Hang on. There. Keep an eye on the level. You can see the level coming through. As I bring the filter all the way up, you'll see it. It's still there. Very, very subtle. But you can see that there's no waveform showing up. So there's your filter, if that makes any sense to anyone who's an audiophile. Alright, let's try it with a bit of resonance. So we'll do about, what do you reckon that is, about a quarter? So yeah, you can see the resonance, see how it's the harmonics going through on that? And it's turning into a sine wave and then to nothing. So there's pretty much a sine wave there. Alright. Now let's try halfway. It's very buzzy. And there's that. See that where it just gets that harmonic there. It just really peaks. Look at that. This is the thing that people love about SH-101s, is the sweet spots that you get in it. You see it just pop there. Beautiful. That is a good filter. I really like this. It's got to 3/4. Definitely you can see the harmonics in that I should really keep an eye on to make sure this is streaming too. Yep, all good. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Who's enjoying the filter? Do you guys think that sounds good, or as expected? Is it a bit boring? Give us your opinions as I go through this. I'm not going to go all the way up to the top because I'll blow your ears. But I will go... I'll just show you the lower end of that resonance on 4. You can see. I was talking in one of the groups about how this has got amazing bottom end on this. Can you hear the harmonics popping in here? Oh, that would blow a subwoofer, I reckon. Literally. Oh. Let's blow everyone's headphones right now. Anyway, that is a really, really nice sounding filter, and I don't want to blow your ears at the highest of it. So anyway, there's the filter. And obviously with the filter itself, you've got your envelope that you can adjust the filter with, and you can adjust modulation, which is the LFO, which I haven't looked at yet, and also you've got keyboard tracking as well for your filter. So let's just do some keyboard tracking. Do it from about there. So from the bottom it's kind of, it's about there, and then the top it opens right up. So keyboard tracking works fine. Now this is the new thing that isn't in the SH-101, is this FM modulation. Now this FM modulation thing here adds a bit of grit to the filter, and I kind of like it. So this is just the first one, which is kind of like a FM pulse. Look what it's doing to that waveform. Really modifying that waveform. Let's try the second one, sorry, which is 1 octave. So it's 1 octave. Okay. And the next one. That would be interesting with a square wave, actually. Wow, that's really cool. And then you've got how's the levels? Let's check to make sure I'm not blowing people's ears here. Yep, that's good. So that's introducing like an FM noise kind of source. But you guys, you have to admit, that adds a bit of grit, you know, and you can just play with it. You can turn the whole thing off, that's fine. It doesn't have to go through that. I need to find out, I don't know if any of you guys know, but is this actually a digital thing, or is it an analog thing? If it's an analog thing, maybe we could hack this, because I reckon this could do with, it's got the amount knob here, but I reckon it could do with the rate. I reckon that rate would be cool. So Jeff's saying it sounds so smooth and those overtones are awesome. Are you enjoying it all being on gadgets, not knobs? On faders, not knobs, sorry, he says. Yeah, I don't mind faders actually. I'm a bit of a fan of faders. I just don't like those tiny ones that are on the the boutiques. You know, kind of those tiny ones that you see on the boutiques. They can be a bit annoying. So yeah, you know. I find these faders to be really super responsive, and it's easy to get the sweet spots. So to me, that's really important. Is, you know, when you saw me playing with that filter before, and you was watching the oscilloscope changing, and you're seeing all those harmonics come through, that the sliders are really, really important there, because that's where you can get your finger just nudge them slightly, and that's where you can get those sweet spots. So really, really important, I think, to have sliders there. Anyway, that's the filter, I guess. Does anyone want to see anything else on the filter? Maybe I'm going to go to the LFO next. So if you want to see modulations, I'm going to cover that in a sec. So don't worry about that. So if there's nothing more, we'll go straight over to the LFO. All right. Let's go back to this screen. I think this one's better. All right, so LFO, which is over here, just slightly off the edge of the screen, is just a tune knob, so, and the power button, so don't really worry about those. So what we need to do is look at this modulator section here, and obviously you've got a rate slider, and you can see there is a light which will show the rate pulse, and it will light up depending on how fast that is. Okay, kind of a visual thing. Also, you've got this switch, so you've got low, medium, and high. And this makes this thing go into audio rate. And that's what I want to show you, is the difference between the three. And it can be very, very handy to have an LFO that's got this rate switch, which is kind of like it steps this rate control into 3 different zones. Not only that, but we also have a bunch of different waveforms there. So sawtooth, square, random, and noise. And my favorite is the random one on this. I love the random waveform on the modulator. I think it's awesome. All right, now what do we want to do? Let's do some modulation on the filter. Okay, and you know, that's nothing exciting. You can see that LFO is almost, well, not almost, that's actually giving us a bit of ring modulation now, isn't it? So who likes that LFO? I think that LFO is awesome. That is so cool. Anyway, let's go back to, now I wanted to show you random, which I really, really love. So let's go to random. We want to kind of, that's super cool fun, that. I love that. One of the things you can do is add a bit of delay on that. Let's try a bit of delay. What sort of delay do we have on this thing? Okay, let's change the delay to a bit of a stereo one. That's an awesome LFO, and you know, don't worry, I won't keep the delay on there because I know you guys just want to hear the MS-101 by itself, but just, you know, sometimes it's nice to have a bit of an effect. Okay, so that is our LFO modulation. Anything that you guys want to see? There is a knob underneath this thing called tempo and gate length. That is to do with the sequencer. I am going to show you guys a bit about the sequencer in a minute. In fact, why don't we jump over to me for a sec. I'm going to show you guys a bit about the sequencer, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about the MIDI side of things, because there's a bit of talk about the MIDI being a bit dodgy and you've got to do firmware updates and everything. So what I'm going to do in this stream is I'm going to play a recording of me doing a firmware update on this. Obviously I had to get this updated so that I could do this on the live stream. But at the same time, I think it's important that we you know, tackle the big issues with this at the same time. So while we're doing that, let's get up our video. Where's it gone? Okay, so I'm going to go full screen on that. You can hear my computer struggling. Okay, so let me just, sorry guys, I just need to get things set up. So I'm just going to disappear off the screen. This is going to be just the video, and I want to show you, I'm going to talk with me talking over it because there's no sound on this video, I don't think. So here's the video now. So this was me on the Mac screen, and so what I did is I used Sysx Librarian, and I had to make some changes to the settings on this. So let's just show you the setting changes I made. So you change the transmit buffer size to 256, and then I have to go into general and change the pause between play messages to 250 milliseconds. All right, and then obviously you just load the Sysx file here that comes, and make sure you've got MS-101 selected. Now I did this once and it failed, and then I realized that there was a setting that I hadn't done, which I'm about to go and show you, and I just changed the receive timeout to 1 second there, and then I tried again, played it, and obviously select the right MIDI source, silly me, and there it goes, I'm playing it now. Now that then plays 176 messages in the Sysx file across, so I'm gonna make you guys watch that. Where are we? Here? Here? Almost there. And it's finished. Now what I did then is I switched across to the screen, and you can see all the lights were on like this. Sorry, it was a bit of a bad video I did, but I was kind of doing this at the last second, and tried to adjust the camera, and then you just see these lights dancing here, and then it stopped, and then it went back to this location 1 here. That means that it was working. Okay, let me go back to my normal screen. So that is actually a successful MIDI update. Now, one thing to remember, I had to use the Sysx file and the Sysx Librarian I tried it on Windows using their application, and I tried it on Mac using their application, and both of them didn't work. So I had to actually just use a SysX librarian for that to work, and you know, it worked. Now I know it worked because you saw all that SysX stuff dancing on the lights and everything, and then afterwards it goes back to that location 1 that you can see now, and then I play the keyboard and I could hear it, so that's fine. So yeah, that's how you do the firmware 1.08 update, and I don't think there's anything to panic about. I think it's pretty easy, so don't worry about that. Now, does it fix the issues? Well, there was quite a lot of things that it did fix. Now let me just grab the document that I got from them so we aren't missing out. Where is it? Excuse me. Okay, so let me just, I'll just share this with you. You guys can watch. Okay, so that is a list of what the firmware update does. So the big one was MIDI in can't work if no USB is connected. They've said they've improved it. Now, what the issue we've got is, what does improve mean? Does it mean it's fixed? We don't know. So all I can say is I've tested it and it worked for me. Doesn't mean it necessarily works for everyone. There might be some situations where that doesn't work. And there was a whole bunch of other things that they had probably on their list to get out. So MIDI sync clock. So that is a list of what the firmware update does. So the big one was MIDI in can't work if no USB connection. They've said they've improved it. Sorry, I was getting a crossfeed just then. Sorry about that. So I'll just go back to the screen. So the issues were that you had to fix the MIDI, and there was some transposing issues. There was a hold rest issue, glide set. There was a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, that particular document, I'm going to put, when I'm finished with this video and it uploads from YouTube, I'm going to put a link to all this in the description. So if you need it, you'll be able to find it there. So don't worry, that'll come back for everybody to see. So let's go back to here. All right, what else can we do? Back to our... All right, so the envelope, I think we want to know how snappy the envelope is, guys. What do you reckon? Let's have a look at that. Let me move it over a little bit so you can see the envelope. All right, let's get this all the way down. Okay, now I've got a little bit of a sub and a sawtooth going. Okay, and you can hear all the way down. I've got, notice on the VCA, I've got it set to envelope and not to gate, and this envelope you can set it to gate entry, gate, or LFO. So I've just set it to gate, right? I think it doesn't really make much difference at this stage. Right, so they're all the way down. You can just see. Let me get that other view up for you guys. I think you'll probably improve what I'm looking at. Where are we? Okay, this view. Can you see down the bottom that that's triggering a small sound? You can probably hear it too. It's like a click. So we can get a very, very subtle percussive but that you have to, it's a very, very tiny, minute movement on that slider to get that on the decay. And then if you do the sustain, see? So I think it's pretty snappy. Okay, now standard envelope. How long's the release? Let's try this. About 11 seconds, maybe 10 seconds. What do you guys reckon? I'll do it again. I'd say 11 seconds on that release. That's not bad. You know, I've seen longer releases, but that's not bad. And what's the attack? The attack should be the opposite. So you should have maybe, I don't know if it's going to be the opposite, but let's see if the attack is an 11-second attack. No. It's probably about like a 2-second attack at the max, and it's just really slowly ramping. And you can see it on the oscilloscope there. So there's the peak there. So it's got to go just below that line. There. So let's count that in. I'd say about 3 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds on that attack. So there you go. There's your envelope. What do you guys think of the envelope? Got a couple of people chatting, but not many. Don't forget to chat, guys. This is your opportunity to ask me to do things. It's not just about me showing you stuff. I know you've probably got other things going on. It's Saturday, it's the morning or the afternoon for wherever you are, but do jump in and chat and ask me to show you stuff. I mean, there's not really a lot more I can show you with the envelope. The next thing is using the envelope, you know, to modulate or shape the filter. So, you know, you can obviously do that. Let's try that. Now, I'm going to change the VCA to big gate because that means now that the envelope is only affecting the filter and not. Okay. Now you can see that envelope actually affecting the filter. What about if we had some decay? Now let's bring all that down slightly. So there's the envelope affecting the filter, okay? And then we can do both. There you go, it's typical SH-101 envelope. Nothing spectacular. I mean, it does sound spectacular with a bit of delay, though, I've always thought. But that's me. These synths always sound better with FX. Okay, so we are now onto the sequencer side. All right. I'm probably going to go with a square. Now, those who follow me on social media would know that the first thing that I programmed into this synth was a sequence that everybody would know, and that's the On the Run Pink Floyd famous one. Now, because I did a firmware update, I don't know if it's lost all its sequences, so let's see. It has. That's important to know, that when we are doing firmware updates, we're losing our sequences. So yeah, there you go. Now, to program the sequencer, it was pretty easy if I remember rightly. Where are we now? I'm going to need the manual, sorry guys, because I've only just had this for not even a day. Less than 24 hours. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 hours. 1, can hear the computer going crazy again. And my mouse clicking. Sorry about that. Manuals. And MS-101. Okay, so what we need to do is scroll through here. Alright, I've just got the manual over on that screen there, so I'm going to be turning my head to read it. Now, where did I find the section on the sequencer? Sorry. One sec. Okay, what I wanted to show you was the step mode, because I find this one, you know, kind of handy. And now I think we're going to go with you're going to press shift here and step here, and that will then give us the flashing LED will turn from green to yellow, which is step mode, so that's now yellow there. And we need to now initialize the current pattern by pressing shift, reset, and pattern. Shift, reset, and pattern. So that's kind of initializing it, is clearing it. And then the location LED for this is step 1 here. And we are now going to tell it how many banks we've got. So we can use this to move up and down the banks, okay? And what else we're going to do? We press this step switch to do that. Right. Now there's a page button there. So each one of these pages is another 8 steps, okay? And we go through, there's 4 pages, right? So I just want to do 8 steps. So what I'm going to do is press set end. I think you got it. There. Set end and a step switch. There we go. Now I've worked it out. So now you can see that there's 8 steps lit up, and when we've done that, we press shift and any one of the steps to program. It will begin to flash. Oh, hang on, we've got to do, sorry, I've forgotten a step. Step, set end. No, I think I've done something wrong, hang on a sec. Initialize that. Press set end and a step switch to choose the length. There we go. Which we did before. Press shift and the step switches. Yeah. It says it's supposed to be flashing, so there's probably something that I'm not doing right. Anyway, let's see if this works. So the first key that we want is, where are we? We want to do a D. And then we want to change this just to something basic. And then we press shift that one, and do an F, G, F, and then a D, a C, a D, and an E. Okay, let's see if this works. And then when we're finished, you press play stop and it should play it. Wow. This is crazy. Let's get the sequencer going on Ableton. At the moment that's 120. Anyway, we go to keyboard mode. So let me just show you this other screen. This is the Ableton Live running. Now if I press play here, you'll notice that it starts the sequencer. Okay, so there's the proof that MIDI's working. No problem at all, over USB. Alright, so what did you guys think of the sequencer? I just showed you the step side of the sequencer because I think, I think that's kind of the easy way of doing it. Now I think to me it's a bit clunky to get it working, but it's only because I'm new to it and I don't really know how these work. I'm used to step sequences being a lot less sort of key presses to get working, but the sequencer itself has a record pattern way. You can record a pattern just by playing, and you use shift keyboard and then you record with the record button. So let's have a look at that. Okay. Initialize the current pattern we're on. So I want to go to a different pattern. There. Oh. Interesting. I don't know if that's working. Let me just check that again. Okay. Whoa, I've just completely gone bonkers here for a sec. Hang on. My mouse has disappeared on me. Let's get this back. Okay. Sorry, I had my my mouse went crazy on me just for a second. There we go, it's back. And I was just trying to change the tempo here, so something a bit more useful. There we go. All right, so you go Shift keyboard, which we did, and then you Shift, reset, and pattern to clear the pattern that you're in. Then you press record, and it shows step 1. Okay. Indicating you're about to be added and edited. If you cannot select record and repeat, blah blah blah. Press any note on the keyboard or rest as shown, and this will. We're going to do the same. We're going to do the same pattern. So it's just so we remember. It's DF. Yeah, it's moving, and then we go G, F, D, C, D, E. Okay, that's a lot easier, I think, than the step sequencer. And then when we're finished, I'll talk about ratchets and all that sort of stuff later, but when we finish, we press record again, and it's finished, and we should be able to play that sequence back. So that's just a basic sequence. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that the record method or the step method was easier? I mean, I probably made that step method seem harder because I'm pretty clunky at this, but what do you guys think? Can the ARP as well as the sequencer be transposed like the SH-101? Black Mirror is asking this question, guys, in chat, so I just thought I'd bring that up. I think so. So the ARP is this part here. It's just, so I'm pretty sure the sequencer can be transposed. So live performance, you use the transpose switch to change the octave. So let's try that. I thought on the SH-101 you just pressed a note on the keyboard and it changed it. Yeah. Yeah, that's working fine. I love that. Isn't that cool? There's a smidgen of delay. This is the Pink Floyd remix, guys. Made straight to you from Australia by the lame synth head. Nah, just kidding. So yeah, the standard sequencer I think is actually pretty easy. Now don't forget too that this can do ratcheting, glides, rests. So there you've got accents, you've got rests, and you can also do ratcheting. Now ratcheting is what a lot of people like to know about. Now to create a ratchet, you hold shift and you turn the glide control, this one here, and the locator LEDs will show the number of ratchets from 1 to 4. So basically each step will be broken into 4 sub steps. Okay, so so say you've got your 8 steps there, and those 8 steps are forming one bar. One step is 1/8 of a bar, and then each one of those ratchet steps is 1/4 of the 1/8. So you can do your maths and work out that we're doing 132. So you can ratchet, and you can do you can also do triplets in there. So if you just set it to 3, it'll divide the step into 3. So you can divide it into half, into 3, and into 4. So that's how you can do your triplets. And if you want to do that, you've got to go back and edit the step. Hold down Shift and you adjust the glide button here when you're editing the step. So that's how you do it. What else? The Nova mod on this thing is awesome. What's the Nova mod? Is that on your SH-101? I don't know what the Nova mod is, sorry. I don't know everything. I don't know hardly anything. Anyway, while we're waiting for Black Mirror to tell us what the Nova mod is, we can go on to the next step. Has anybody got any other questions about the sequencer? Oh, you wanted to know about the ARP. Okay, so the ARP is, you just hit the ARP button there and it turns it on, and then you just play a chord. Now, obviously, the tempo is set by this. Now there's two modes of the ARP being played. There's this mode where you have to hold the notes down, or if you double tap the ARP, hang on a sec, notice how now it's blinking, and that will hold the ARP. Okay, so while you're doing that, you've also got a couple of options with the ARP, and I just need to go back. There wasn't many. I think it was like up, down, down and up. I'm gonna find it for you. How do you get to this? Okay, so when you've got the ARP turned on, let's do that again. And I've just got, right? You've got the order is this keyboard and step buttons here. So that is down, that's up, and then you got down and up, random, up 2, down 2, up 3, and down 3. Now the next question was, Black Mirror was asking, can I transpose? You can with the sequencer, but you need to change the chords with the ARP, I think, unless I'm doing something wrong. Someone will chime in and say that I've done something wrong anyway. Black Mirror is coming back and saying Nova mod is an aftermarket mod done on the original SH-101 with FM audio in, LFO speed, etc. So what is that the same as this? Is that the same as this FM thing? Because this has got audio in as well. Is that basically the same thing? Is that what you're saying? You're kind of drawing a comparison to the two? Because I don't know, I don't know. You sound like you know more about it than me, so that'd be cool if it was. Also, question of whoever knows out there is that what you mean by transposing with the Arpeggiator? That I thought that most Arpeggiators did that. I don't know. I might be doing it wrong. It says in the manual that you've got, have I got everything on it? I can't see anything else in the manual about the Arpeggiator other than the rate, which we showed, the up down random, all that sort of stuff, which we showed, and the hold, which I showed. So that's it, as far as I know, on the Arpeggiator. The Arpeggiator on the SH-101 wasn't quite as big as that. I don't think it had as many of those options. It definitely had a hold. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. Someone will chime in anyway. Oh, okay, yeah. So Black Mirror is saying that this mod here, the FM mod, it was originally a third-party mod called the Nova mod that was on the SH-101. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing that with us, mate. So that's awesome. And don't forget also it's got an audio in at the back as well. One thing I love about this, it's got, talking about the plugs at the back. We should probably bring up a graphic if I can. Do I have a picture of it? Let me grab a... I don't really want to lift this up and show you on the camera because I'm going to like make a massive fool of myself. Let me just grab a picture of the Behringer MS-101 rear. See if I can get a picture of the rear. Someone hopefully has done one for us, please. Yes. People on the internet are awesome. Just putting that out there. Open image, new tab, blah, 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 blah. Save image as. Let's chuck that into... Yeah, chuck it into here. Okay, cool. And then we'll go into... What are we into now? We're into main. And I'm just going to add the image. Sorry, I'm just trying to really work my way around this image. XXX, that'll do. And then we select it from here. What I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you the rear view of this so we can talk about it. And I'm going to put that down the bottom so we can all see it. There. Look at that, magic of the internet and live streaming at the same time. What do you think? That was pretty cool of me, wasn't it? Computer geek and everything. So, transposing ARPs, Black Mirror. There are ARPs that transpose. If you really are into ARPs that transpose, have a look at any of those Karma Lab type arpeggiators. That Korg M3, Korg, Cronus, Yamaha motifs have them. So they've got some pretty big ARPs. And then I think the MC505 and MC909 arpeggiators transpose. I can't remember anyway. Anyway, back to the back panel. As you guys can see on the back panel, we have... I have to zoom in on mine because my eyesight is shot. So from the left to the right, you've got your, obviously your power, DC. Now, with the power, when I bought this from the UK and it shipped all the way across to Australia. It came with a UK power supply. So I'm actually running this off a supplied power supply. It's just a 9 volt with center negative, I think. And it says on the back here that I only need 600 milliamps. The power supply that I've got does 1700 milliamps, and the one that Behringer supplied also does 1700 milliamps, so I thought that was a pretty safe bet. And as you can see, it's working fine. The power supply it comes with has those clickable pins on it, and I'm not, most synths these days, they ship them with a little box, and you can take the UK one off, put the Euro one on, or you can put the US one on, the Australian one on. This only just came with the UK one, and I thought that was really annoying. So I'm going to write to Behringer and see if they are able to send me the Australian one, because that means then I can just click the UK one off and click the pin for Australia on, and I'm good to go. Okay, so we've got output phones, external audio in, which was what Black Mirror was talking about before, and we've got a hold for a sustain pedal, and then you've got your CV, which is what I love about this. It's got CV, and Behringer are going to be talking a lot about this when Crave comes out, when the Pro 1 comes out. They're already talking. If you look at their manual, download their manual, they've got a photo of the Model D in there, the Eurorack version of their Model D, and they've got this thing interacting with the Model D. You've got VCF CV in and external clock CV in, and you've also got CV and gate in and CV and gate out. You've also got velocity out, and that's all standard Eurorack compatible volts per octave, that sort of stuff. Then you've got your 3 MIDI ports, in, out, and through, which is really cool how it's got a through, because a lot of synths these days don't even have a through. I guess there's a fair bit of real estate across the back of this, so they've got room for it. And it supports USB. It's class compliant. There's no drivers. It works straight away. I installed it. I just plugged it into my Mac before, and it worked fine. It just came straight up. You saw that video I did earlier with the firmware update. I didn't have to install any drivers. It just plugged straight into the Mac, and it worked. Also, when I was playing around with Windows, it plugged straight into Windows, and it did that little sound on Windows, and there it said I've got an MS-101. So that it's all class compliant. It works fine. Now, over on the far right-hand side, down the bottom, you'll see the mod grip thing. Yes, we haven't shown that yet, have we? So let's go grab that. Where are we? Go to the Mac desktop for a sec. This is going to be a lot longer stream than I thought. There's a lot to cover in this. So, what's better? Maybe I'll show it on the main camera. Let's do that. Main chat. There we go. You can see me better. That is the, what do you call it? The keytar handle. And it's got the, it's very loose, that, by the way. It's like literally, you could flick it, and I don't know if you can hear that. And down the bottom, I was showing you, that's the plug that plugs in. So where that connects up, you can see on the bottom right, that connects up, and it comes with a little screw here. Sorry. You can see the screw holes there. And then you've got this little lug thing here. Now that's what you put the strap onto, and this is the strap that comes with. I haven't even opened mine yet. Okay, and there's the little screws, little screw bag. So is it good quality? Don't know. I mean, I think it's fine. You know, it feels like it's. I mean, this is made of plastic. You can see it here. It's made. This part's plastic, but this part's metal. Sorry, I didn't show that very well. That part there, the bracket, is metal, and the rest is all plastic. Okay, so you've got a button on the end, and you've got a little wheel there. Okay, so there you go. There's the mod grip, or the keytar handle. Yep, absolutely brilliant with the CV, by the way, too. So, yeah. What have I not covered? I mean, I've covered all of this stuff up here. I've covered the sequencer. Okay, down here, down the bottom right, left-hand corner for you guys. Let's move it over. So you've got these controls here. You've got obviously volume control, and you've got a glide. Let's check the glide out. So we go, turn the glide on. Oh, let's turn our delay off. Delay always comes and bites you later, doesn't it? Everyone says, don't put effects on. There you go, that's why. So there's no delay, and we'll go all the way up to the top. Right, there's your delay. Now notice with the delay, it's VCA, I think it's VCA driven. That's half. Let's do quarter. See how if I release the key, and my VCA is on envelope. If I turn it to gate, if I hold the gate down, that's how the SH-101 worked. So it's the same. So it's something a lot of people who don't know about the way the SH-101s worked, this is something that you need to understand. When you use the glide, it's to do with a trigger, a gate, and then you can activate it. You can't press a key and then go to the next key and expect it to glide. So just so you know, maybe that's a feature I haven't activated, I don't know. Anyway, that's glide. You've got bender controls here. So the bender is left to right down the bottom. You guys can see this, right? And my fingers touching the bender. You can see this is left to right. Look, the bottom left-hand corner of where the synth is, okay, with the orange thingamy here. So let's do the bender. Now I've got VCO all the way up to the top. Right, that's the and you can go half. So that's pretty handy. Those sliders are the same style as these ones, so there's no difference there. Let's try the filter. That's pretty cool. Now the next one across is the modulation, which is the push side of it, this part where you push it, okay? And I've got oscillator, pitch. So you can kind of use that as a vibrato. One thing I didn't mention is this keyboard has aftertouch. I'll just turn this off so we can't hear it. Watch this. Can you guys see? That's the normal press, but then, can you see that extra movement? That's a spring-loaded aftertouch. Now, I don't think there's any implementation of aftertouch on this particular synth, but I'd be interested to find out if aftertouch is being transmitted by it. And I do believe somewhere in here we do have a MIDI thingo in the manual where it does talk about MIDI. It doesn't mention aftertouch. Yeah, it's cool, but I don't think it's implemented. Maybe it's something that they're going to implement, or maybe it's just they've used the same keybed that they've got on the other Behringer stuff. I don't know. Mine's got a little mark on it here. Get it off. You can't see it on the camera. There's a little mark. Oh no, it's come off. I noticed that when I got it and I pulled it out of the plastic bag, there were kind of little, I don't know, marks on it, and they just came off. There was just something that they didn't clean properly in the factory. I'm not sure. The MS-101 MIDI that it talks about in the back of the manual, it says some MS-101 parameters can be changed. Let's go to this so we're talking a bit more personal to you guys. So some MS-101 parameters can be changed using MIDI system exclusive or sysx commands. A MIDI utility such as MIDI-OX can be used to send sysx commands data strings to the MS-101 using a USB MIDI connection between the computer. There is a MS-101 section on our website for more details of sysx commands. Now, I haven't seen that document yet. I've looked at the website, so they haven't put it up. But we know that they've just done a firmware update using sysx, so we know it definitely receives sysx. While it is, what the implementation is of that, they haven't published that yet. However, they have published a little MS-101 MIDI chart, and you've got note off, note on, glide, all notes off, pitch bend, timing clock, start, stop, and continue. So they're your kind of NRPN / SysX implementations that are on there. And you can set, well, we're on MIDI too, by the way. I think we should talk about this. Okay, so you can set the MIDI channel on this. Let me get to that in a sec, but I just want to quickly check. Does this search? It does. Okay. I'm just searching Aftertouch in the manual. No, it doesn't mention anything on Aftertouch, sorry. Okay, so changing the MIDI channel. So you press, where are we? Go back to our previous view. What happened there? Sorry, I've moved to something on the screen. There we go. So to change the MIDI channel, you hold down Shift, hold, rest, and 8 to enter the setting mode. So Shift, hold, rest, and then 8. And then you press the keyboard and step buttons to change the MIDI channel. Now, page 1 allows you to select MIDI inputs 1 to 16. Page 2 allows you to set them for the output channel. So you can actually set the MIDI output channel on this as well. And step switches 1 to 8 selects the numeric values from 1 to 8. And then to access values 9 to 16, you press Shift and step. And the LED will flash so that you know you're on shift, okay? And then you press Shift and hold rest and 8 to exit. So Shift, hold, rest, 8 to exit. And it's back to our normal section. So that's how you change the MIDI channel. Big improvement on Roland, I think so. I mean, obviously the Roland was written back in the 80s. It didn't have MIDI, so this is all MIDI. You know, people are whinging about MIDI on this one. Well, you know, the Roland one didn't have MIDI, and people did put mods that gave it MIDI, blah blah blah. But those who aren't into MIDI, you can control this with CV, you know, and run your modular gear. Firmware update. Yeah, Black Mirror, I showed earlier in the stream information about the firmware. Absolutely. So I actually showed a video of me doing the firmware update. So when we finish the live stream, the video will publish itself onto YouTube. It usually takes about half an hour to an hour for it to come up. You'll be able to go back and scrub through and you'll see the screenshots. Just to give you a quick overview, the firmware update is done using, I used SysX Librarian on Mac, and I made some settings within the latest version of SysX Librarian to get it to work, and I talked about that in the video. So make sure you go and check that out if you want to know how to do it. Other than that, I think we're pretty much done. What do you guys think? It says I've got 8 people in the stream, and don't forget to say hi. I keep telling this about once every half an hour, but don't forget this is a live stream. It's for you guys to be part of it. I've got an MS-101 here. If you don't have one, if you're in part of the world that these aren't shipping yet, and I know in America they're not shipping yet, where I live here in Australia they're not shipping yet. I got mine sent over from the UK. That's why I've got one. I had to pay extra for it to come across. It's a long way to go from England to Western Australia where I am currently. So, you know, I really wanted to get one and not wait another 6 months. So, you know, definitely ask questions in the chat if you guys want me to show something. I've covered most stuff. I was talking before about this section down the bottom here, and we covered the bender and all that. And the last thing I didn't cover was the transpose. So, I mean, that's very obvious what that does. It's just an octave part, you know. It's pretty average. Don't forget, on your oscillator you've got range, and you can go right up here, so that goes high, okay, and it goes right down here. I don't think it goes low enough, but you can bend it all the way to there. That's almost an LFO there. What do you guys think? That's an LFO, isn't it? It goes low enough. I mean, God, you can get a pretty nasty filter sweep happening on that. Oh. Does that come through? Are those is that bass coming through on YouTube? I'd be very surprised if it is. I know YouTube compresses the audio. That's insane. I mean, you should hear it here. I'm just using these Audio Technicas MTX 50s or whatever they're called. Jeez, it's low. How wet and sappy is that? How you going, Lars? Thanks for joining in, mate. It sounds like droplets. That is a true analog sound. There's no way you could do that with digital. Even with the coolest of CPUs, I don't reckon you can do that. That is actually beautiful. Sorry, but you know, you'll never ever get me. Think about this. This synth has just discrete components in it. There's no, I mean, there's computers obviously to run the sequencer and stuff like that, yes. But aside from that, we're not using it right now. There's no computers. We don't need to create binary code to generate that sound. As a result, everything that we do is purely to do with voltage and electronics, and that's why you get such clarity in it. And yeah, I still don't think digital has got there, even with the most powerful FPGA processors. Still not there, I don't think. Not to my ears anyway. So that's why I'm going to be backing Behringer, because they've had the balls to reproduce stuff that needs to be reproduced, because the world ran out of this stuff. It's so old. The SH-101 is so old now. People were wrapping them up in cotton wool because they were so brittle and old and easy to break. And then Black Mirror's talking about his before, you know, you have to look after the old stuff. But now you pick up one of these for 200 and something quid in the UK, or whatever it works out to be in euros, 300 euros, I think it does. Lars, is that about right? Was it about 300 euros for you? 299 or something like that? I'm not trying to sell you one, Dave. I'm the world's worst salesman. I don't get any. There's no feedback here. This MS-101 was paid for fully by me. I didn't get one given to me from Behringer. They wouldn't give me anything anyway. I'm not that popular on YouTube. So yeah, it's come out of my pocket, because everything that I do on my channel comes out of my pocket. So I'm just like you guys. I am a user. I'm a musician. I'm a hobbyist. I love synths. I love Eurorack. I love electronics. You know, just like you guys, I'm paying for the gear. So when I talk about it, I'm talking about it like you guys talk about it. I mean, gosh, you know, if I pay for it, then it's hurting me in the pocket. I've got to make this work for me. There's got to be a need. 310 euros, yeah. So is that including postage, or is that was the price without postage, or just the conversion? Lars. Yeah, I think Thomann were 299 euros. I think. Don't quote me. I actually originally ordered. Okay, That's not bad. £256 from Thomann. Additional. Yeah. Okay, cool. For me, it worked out to be £250, including postage. 250 something. £250 and some pence. You know, some change. So whatever that works out to be in euros and Australian dollars, it was 400 and something Australian dollars. It was pretty good. I think they're selling them in Australia. You can't buy them. You pre-order them. I think they're $5.99. So I don't know what they're doing. Someone's getting rich over here. You can't get them yet. Yeah, absolutely. So have you got, Lars, have you got yours? I know you said you got yours from the UK, but has it actually arrived? Or did you order it and you're still waiting for it? I get the impression you said you've got it. Mine only took literally 3 days to get from London to Western Australia. That is insane. I ordered. Yeah, cool, man. That's awesome. Have you had a good play with it now? That's cool. 3 days. You've had it longer than I've had mine. I've only had mine not even 24 hours yet. This is probably 24 hours now. 888 Berg? No, I've got just a standard Australian power pack. It's 9 volts, 1700 milliamps or 1.7 amps, and it's just a standard barrel center negative connector. So a standard pedal power, 9 volts, does it fine. The power wart thing that came with it is exactly the same specs, 9 volts, 1700 milliamps. So I just found something in my box. It was probably lucky, but it works. So yeah, I didn't have to convert, no, because I'm using an Australian one, so it's fine. When I do a lot of videos on power stuff in my channel, so a lot of people worry about powering gear. Just a really simple rule of thumb: match the voltage and the amps, and obviously the connector has to be the same type of plug, and also the polarity, so whether it's center negative, center positive. Those 3 things. Match that and you're fine. Now, a lot of these things will, like for example, this on the back here tells you it only needs 600 milliamps. So it's pretty low powered, but they give you a power supply that's capable of doing 1700. So the power supply has got more meat in it than what the synth needs, which is what you would probably normally do. Amps is always better to have slightly more than what it needs. So for example, if I put a 2 amp 9 volt on this, it'd be fine. Okay, it just gives it more current, that's all. It only takes what it needs. Current is something that's there, and if it needs it, takes it. Volts is the important one. Don't put 12 volts into this, don't put the wrong polarity into this, you could fry it. So yeah, just be careful with power supplies. Lars, did you get, you would have got that UK converter in the box, didn't you? Did you get that little Gear for Music UK converter and that came with it? I don't know if he's still there. I got one too, which converts the UK power plug to a Euro one, which is the 2 pins. So, you know, he would have been fine. He would have used his if he's still around. I'm not sure if he's there. So power wise, easy peasy. Yeah, I didn't have problems with the MIDI either because I'm just using this, so that was fine. Dave, yes, I've got one on its way. It's probably sitting in a warehouse in Perth somewhere now. According to the DHL tracking, it says it's going to be delivered to me on Monday, so that's 2 days away. Yes, VC340, you'll be able to see it here on my channel. Definitely. In fact, the VC340 was the synth that I ordered first, and I ordered it through Thomann, and I pre-ordered. Now, whether this is something that you guys should know or shouldn't know, shouldn't do, or do, or I don't know. You guys can tell me your thoughts in the chat. But I pre-ordered from Thomann, and I ordered it back in I think it was early March or late February, somewhere around there. And they said it was coming in April. April came. A whole bunch of people got their VC340s through Toman, and I didn't get mine, and I was absolutely peeved because not only did they not tell me, but I had to chase them up and ask them what the hell was going on. When they did get back to me and they said, "Look, sorry, we didn't have enough. There was a lot of pre-orders, and we gave it in order of who came in first in, best dressed type thing," which is fair enough. I don't have a problem with that. But tell me that we got 300 in or 100 in or 50 in or whatever, and you were 75, so you were a bit further down the list, so you're going to be on the next batch. They didn't tell me that. In fact, they started playing games with me about when it's next coming in. And I just said, guys, just cancel my order, sorry. You know, that's crap. And I ended up finding out through Jamie, who's another YouTuber. You guys would know him. He doesn't really know me, so I'll give him a plug. His name's Synth. You guys have probably heard of him. He's from the UK. He announced on one of the forums that he got his VC340 through Gear for Music, and they had 20 plus in stock. So I jumped on and ordered mine. Had to cancel my order through Toman and get that. And already I'm getting one. It'll be here Monday. So, but while I was at it, I got one of these. So Gear for Music, big thumbs up for those guys. And as you can see, Lars got his as well because he couldn't wait. So we're all kind of, yeah, I know that look, this is not a nasty thing for Toman. Sweetwater have done it to me. Local guys here in Australia have done it to me, and I'm sure Gear for Music have done it as well. So they just want you to be their client, and they want to hold on to you, and that's this pre-order thing. Honestly, my biggest advice I can give to anyone who gets excited about stuff and wants to pre-order, don't pre-order. Just keep your ear and nose to the internet and find out who's got the gear first, and put an order in, because you know, if you know who to talk to, you'll be able to get one without having to pre-order. And like I said, they all just want your money. So if they know that you're going to spend it with them, they'll take it. But don't go with someone who promises that something's going to come and it doesn't turn up. And I've got some perfect examples of that. Like for example, I ordered a TC Electronic June 60 effects pedal, which is going to be the Juno Chorus pedal, and I've ordered that through Sweetwater. Haven't got it yet. No, some people have got theirs already, and now I've been told that it's not going to be coming until August. So, and I ordered mine in February. That's absolute BS. And if you go on the Toman website, it says theirs will be available in 2 to 3 weeks. So someone's not being looked after here in the whole distribution around the world. Now, in Australia where I live, we don't get stuff for months. It just doesn't come here. We don't get anything early here. I think Roland might be an exception to that. We do get Roland here pretty quick. And that might be because Australia's close to Japan. I don't know. But Roland actually have a headquarters here in Australia that's owned by Roland. So it's not some subsidiary distributor. But all the other synth manufacturers like Korg, Behringer, they all go through some distributor here in Australia, and we don't get anything for months. Like when the Deep Mine came out, everyone in the US was getting theirs around December, and I got mine in July the following year. So I mean, that's BS. You know, it doesn't take. We're not sailing around the world like Christopher Columbus anymore. It doesn't take 6 months to get something. Oh jeez, we want our gear when it's announced. Who agrees with us? Don't you reckon? We need to get it straight away. Yeah, I love Les Pauls. My favourite guitar, absolutely. AC/DC, Les Paul, you know. What's his name? Angus Young, the lead guitarist in AC/DC. He ripped that Les Paul. If you guys love guitar, AC/DC, he's an Australian. What do you all think about Behringer doing the Jupiter rack line? I reckon it'd be awesome. Honestly, they've already done Roland stuff. They've got the 3340 VCO already. They've got the Roland filter. I reckon that Roland filter sounds really, really good. People have said that they've got SH-101s and the filter sounds different. Well, guess what? This is brand new, okay? And their SH-101 is 30 years old. The filter is going to slacken after 30 years. If you go into the electronics and renew your diodes and resistors and capacitors and resolder all brand new gear in, your filter will sound different from a 30-year-old filter. Guaranteed. That's how electronics works. Capacitors heat up slow, heat up quick. Older ones, they don't quite carry the same capacitance. We all know this. We can do tests with multimeters. This is not rocket science. So don't say this doesn't sound the same. Jupiter 8 is an absolute dream for all of us, I think. If Behringer are able to do the Jupiter 8 and improve on it, I think it would be amazing. In fact, guys, I've got an MKS-70. Now that, for you guys who don't know, an MKS-70 is a Super JX, which is two, JX 8Ps sandwiched together. So you get two 6 voice dual oscillator DCO synths together. So you get a total of two layered 6 voice synthesizers together. Not quite 12 voices, but technically you could, because you can layer the two sounds of the same patch. But if Behringer were able to do something along the lines of a VCO version of a Super JX, now we're talking some serious polyphony, and obviously keeping it true to the JP8's filter, which is definitely different to the Super JX's filter, but they're similar. But you know, maybe have a multi-mode filter you can switch between a couple of different options. They've already done the Juno in the DeepMind 12. That DeepMind 12 is pretty much a Juno, so don't anyone think that it's not. It is. It's pretty much a Juno. So they've done a Juno, they've done an SH-101. Easily can they do a Jupiter 8 easily. And now that TC Electronics have done the Juno chorus, I don't know how accurate that thing is, but it sounds like it pretty much is. Sounds very, very accurate. I think definitely, you know, Jupiter 8 with the Juno chorus. Imagine that. That'll get some people annoyed. That's cool. So, what have I missed? Have I missed any questions here? So Rocco reckons he agrees about the difference between the Juno 6 and the DeepMind 12 filter. Dave was the one that was asking about the Jupiter 8 clone, and yeah, so that's cool. June 60 chorus pre-order, cancelled my Amazon out of nowhere. Did they really? Wow, that sucks. Sweetwater has still got my order, so I'm probably just gonna wait. I mean, I think these companies, they need to stay a bit more on the ball. Like if Uli Behringer is distributing stuff and he's giving it to the UK stores first, then maybe someone from the US needs to say, hey, there's like 350 million of us over here, and the UK there's only like I don't know, 65 million. Maybe we might have a bigger supply. I don't know. Someone needs to sort of stand up and say, send some stuff equally at the same time. Yeah, absolutely. Where were we going with this? Clones. What do you guys think of the... I think there's a couple of new ones coming out that they've announced. So they've already announced that they're possibly going to be doing an MS-20 clone. They've announced that they're doing a Oberheim clone. These are the ones that they've actually officially announced. And then there's a rumor about the Jupiter 8, of course. There's a rumor about the VCS3 that's only just surfaced in the last couple of days. And so the Jupiter and the VCS3 haven't been confirmed by Behringer, but the other ones that I mentioned, the Oberheim is definitely coming. They've already done a prototype of that. And what was the other one that I mentioned? Anyway, so they've also just about ready to ship that Crave one that we saw at NAMM. That's, you know, that was at the Thomann synth reactor. We saw that being demoed by Paolo. Yeah, CS80, wouldn't that be cool? The Pro 1 is another one that's coming, so we should start seeing that hitting the streets soon. We've just got delivery of this, of course, and the VC340, which is the VP330 clone, the string machine and vocoder. I should have mine on Monday, so there'll be more content for the channel. Actually, in fact, Monday I'll get the VC340, and Tuesday I'm getting delivery of a couple of analog phaser pedals. Do you guys remember on my channel I did an analog phaser video where I did small stone, I think a Roland vintage one, and there was that's right, it was a Behringer vintage copy VP1 or whatever it was called. So I did 3 phaser pedals, and that was really, really big, that video, with lots of people talking about it in various forums and things. I've got a Moog analog phaser coming, and there's 2 MXR analog phaser pedals coming. One's called a Phase 90, which is the very, very famous phaser that they've made, but also another one called the Phase 99, which is a stereo version. One pedal, but you've got 2 phaser pedals inside, and it sends out a stereo signal. And I'm really, really looking forward to getting that one because that sounds amazing. So I've got that coming next week as well. So I'm going to do another video on phaser pedals, so it'll be part 2, and we'll have the Moog, and we'll have the MXRs in there, and they're all analog. So we'll plug them into the VC340. What do you guys reckon? We'll be able to get a real oxygen Jean-Michel Jarre sound out of that. Hey Stavali, hi from the UK. Hi from Australia. G'day. I don't say that very well. So Rocco's saying, I don't feel great about the MS-20. Doesn't Korg have a full... Yes, they do. Korg do a full-size version, as well as a keyboard-less version and a MIDI 80% version. So Korg have completely... It's their product. So I agree. I think Behringer should stay away from that. But 888 Berg said he'd like a desktop version. Well, you can get one from Korg. They made one. I don't know if it's still available. So yeah, maybe if, I don't know, did anyone ever do anything extra with the voices of the MS-20? Like, imagine a polyphonic MS-20. Has anyone ever seen anything? Is there anything out there? I know there's the mono poly, and there's the poly 6. I think they were the 2. Were they based on the MS-20 voices? I can't remember. So maybe they should start doing stuff like that, because that would be along the lines of doing what they've done here with the SH-101, because Korg aren't willing to make them, are they? So, but stay away from the MS-20, I think, because Korg have got them. So why don't they do one of these? Where's my... You guys see the shirt that I'm wearing? Can you guys see that? Arp Quadra. Why don't they make one of those? What do you guys think if Behringer made an Arp Quadra? They've already made an Arp Odyssey, and an Arp Quadra is based on a lot of the Arp Odyssey's voice structure. So, and they've already made a string machine. So, yeah. The Neutron is awesome, isn't it? Hi Tina, how you going? Thanks for joining us. The Neutron is awesome. In fact, I should mention, I was talking before briefly about why that I've got these new analog phaser pedals coming through, and one of them that I'm getting is the Moog analog phaser, and the Moog make a thing called a CP256 or whatever it's called. There's some little module that you can get which has got attenuators and sample and hold and all this kind of CV stuff in it, right? And I was looking at it, and it was like $600 my money to buy here. And then I looked at the Neutron, and it's got all of those functions already built into it. Plus, it's a analog synthesizer. It's got voice and it's Euro-rackable and all that sort of stuff. So, guess what's going to come here soon? The Neutron. So, is the MIDI output polyphonic? Well, I believe it can be used as a MIDI controller, so let's find out. I've got, where are we? Mac screen. Okay, and if we take MIDI from the MS-101, MIDI in, and we record a clip. Now let's play something. There you go. You guys see that? Polyphonic. There's your answer, Tina. Do all the sliders and send CCs. Well, let's have a look. Let's go into MIDI monitor. Does it have MIDI monitor? Yes, it does. Bum ba dum ba dum. Okay, there's a MIDI monitor. All right, so that's node on. The mod wheel doesn't. Okay. Filter doesn't. No. And that actually makes a lot of sense. So does it aftertouch though? No, it's not sending aftertouch either. So there you go. There is the MIDI monitor. So does that answer your question? Look, the keyboard has aftertouch. You can actually see it. Sorry, I keep making that horrible sound. You can see it definitely has aftertouch, but there's no implementation of it. And it doesn't mean that there's brains in here that can't do it. So my opinion is that if we keep pressuring Behringer about this, we can definitely pressure them to I feel that we can pressure them to enable aftertouch on this, and I don't know, some of the other things, surely we can pressure them into it as well. I think they're extremely good value. Like, it's built really, really strong. Like, I mean, I wouldn't drop it. It's plastic because you're going to probably crack the plastic, but it's strong enough. The keyboard on it is fine. You could sit this on your desk and use it as a MIDI controller. The only problem is it doesn't. I don't think it's sending pitch bend, which I think is annoying. That would be pretty handy. Just making sure I haven't missed any questions. 888 Berg says, clearly we would love to see a TB303 clone, a proper one, with the Devilfish mods and maybe some Avalon bass style performance upgrades. Yeah, I mean, if they made the SH-101, they can now make a TB303. They've made an 808, so there's no reason why they can't make a TB303. That's my opinion. Is there chord memory? No. On the DeepMind 12, there's chord memory. This doesn't have anywhere near that level of implementation that the DeepMind 12 has. That's got a very, very good medium implementation on that synth. So no, it doesn't have chord memory, but you can transpose sequences and things like that with the keyboard. So there is that. We showed that before. I've been going for 2 hours. Wow, it's been a good stream. So I know there's been a few of you who have jumped in late, so does anyone want me to show anything on here? On the MS-101, that is. Does anyone want me to show anything? Other than that, I think a few of you have probably disappeared already that have seen it, so let me know. Yeah. Behringer Devilfish 303. Ratcheting. Yeah, I showed that before. I think I might leave that to my review video, but I can show you how it works. It's so where are we? Where did I see it? Ratcheting is set up. So when you're in the sequencer mode, right? You set up ratchet by holding Shift. And then you adjust this glide control here, right? So we need to go into and then Shift. Okay, so see how when I'm adjusting that glide control, I'm in step 1 and I'm getting either 4 LEDs lit up, or I'm getting 3, 2, or 1. 1 is just a single step, and 2 means there's 2 half steps, and 3 means it's a triplet, and 4 means it's a quarter step, which means it would technically, if you had an 8-step sequence in a bar, it would be 132. So that's how you set up ratcheting. So so let's do that. So you hold down Shift and you just twist the glide knob. And let's do a triplet. Okay. So that would be. We haven't got any sound because I need to turn the sound up. Okay, and then we press record to stop, press play. Actually, I've got the sequencer set through here, through Ableton. And then you would need to adjust the gate. There we go. So watch it get to that first step. See? There's ratcheting. See that? There you go. How lucky you guys, I just did it for you. And I made it look easy, didn't I? No, I made it look like shit. That's ratcheting. Thanks, Rocco, for your donation, mate. Much appreciated. While I was doing that, see you, mate. Thank you very much. Hey, Valdis, how you going? The SH-101 does sound like a Juno 6, I reckon. But I think this sounds more like an SH-101. So yeah, that might be something to do with what Roland have done with their boutiques, I reckon. Anyway, 888 Berg, how did that go with the ratcheting? Were you happy with that? The MS-101 triangle wave is a new feature. Please play and compare. Okay. Triangle. Black Mirror is making us aware of the triangle wave. So what did we have before? We had the oscillator. Okay, where happened to my... Oh, it was there. Delete. Okay. And we can go high. sounds very triangular to me. Let's listen to it with the filter. Very, very quick for that triangle to get into a sine wave. Watch it quickly get into a sine wave. There's your sine wave. In fact, we can do FM on this. We can get this thing into... It's very, very possible to get this thing to do a low oscillator FM with the triangle. Didn't quite work for me though. Now, Black Mirror says play with it with the FM stuff. See how that's adjusting the shape of the waveform? Oh, sorry, I forgot to show you guys this, didn't I? There you go. So that's the triangle without that FM, okay? There, fully filtered. And then with the FM. That's pretty cool. Psytrance, yeah, it definitely is. I mean, you could have fun with that sequencer, definitely. Yeah, so triangle, and you can mix. Don't forget, this is a mixer, so you can mix sub. Then we got 3 waveforms mixed with the FM. Turn the FM off. So there you go. See you later, Steve. Stavali. A blue one. Yeah, the blue ones look nice. I could only get red. They do a grey one, I believe, as well. So yeah, I think that's probably enough. What do you guys reckon? I think we've been going for about an hour over, and I didn't expect it to be going so long, but it's been awesome chatting to you guys. It's midnight here in wonderful Western Australia, and which means now officially it's Sunday. So I hope you guys have a great Saturday over there where you are, and hope you enjoyed the MS-101 live stream. I know it's a bit raw, it's a bit ad lib, but hey, it's fun. We like to do this sort of stuff. This is more real, isn't it? This is not some polished marketing thing that you see on the internet. So really appreciate you guys joining me on the live stream. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to bookmark me for every Saturday. I've managed to do one every Saturday so far. So, you know, 888 Berg is from Adelaide. Wow, you must be up late, mate. What are you doing? So, thanks, Dave. Thanks, Valdis. Thanks, Black Mirror. Thanks, Stavali, and everyone else that was in the channel. Don't forget, I'm going to do probably a polished video on this in the near future. Next week, on Monday, I've got the VCS 340 coming, so keep your subs and your bell icons active on my channel, because you'll definitely see that stuff coming very soon. And yeah, I'll say goodbye to everybody. Wish you all the best weekend, and catch you later. And as they say in Australia, crikey, this is a great synth, mate. Catch you later, guys.